Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all. All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store. This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? Planned on doing the Met Gala. No, I didn't. Let me not even lie to you guys. I figured I would just put it in top of the blogs, but I knew that I would just make it just be one total video on its own. Okay, you're welcome. You guys have probably already, it's the Met Gala was on Monday, Cinco de Mayo, dun, dun, dun. I'm sure plenty of people have done videos about it, and people have talked about the fashions and all, so I'm just adding my own little extra, ending to the whole thing. How's that? The Met Gala 2025 this year was tailored for you, which was inspired by the Costume Institute's spring exhibition, Super Fine Tailoring Black Style. Okay, now for those of you guys who may have been like me, it took me many years to finally understand what the Met Ball or the Met Gala, exactly what it was for. We knew that it was a whole bunch of celebrities that dressed up and all, but I never really knew what the cause was or whatever. So it's only been maybe about 10 years since somebody explained to me, I shout out to you, Casey, what exactly the Met Gala was. Which is basically, there's an exhibit that happens at the museum there. And this is the night that they are raising money for whatever the exhibit is that is being featured for that season. I guess historically it was when the rich people would get all gussied up. It was a night at the museum, right? You get all gussied up and you go down there. It's like going to the opera. You go to the museum, you look at the beautiful exhibits, you look at the artwork and whatnots. I think that over the years, gotta get my fan, you guys. I think that over the years it became more celebrities that also would kind of infuse themselves into the event. And now today we have just a star-studded event with all of the paparazzis trying to get the fashions. Maybe the fashions may even shine for those, the majority of those who are not in New York, who cannot get to the museum to see what the exhibit is. All that we know of it is really truly just the fashions, the carpet, the people walking the carpet. So, but I was excited. I'm always excited for the Met Gala. I just love to see red carpet fashions, and I've told you guys plenty of times that it is on my bucket list to make it to one Met Gala. Okay, that is just something that I would love to see, just to be an observer. You guys, it looks like it would be a good time. This year was probably the year to try to get to if you were a black person, that has a bucket list. This year was just amazing. Amazing. You guys have heard the term fine and dandy for many years. This year took on new meaning for me. I did not realize that fine and dandy came from a term of when black people expressed themselves with a certain air of style, with extreme taylorism. They are like fresh to death. It was something that I think the term was phrased back in the early 1900s. And you guys just know, we as black people, we have always been concerned with our style, how we looked. It's evolved over the years, but not only are we concerned about how we look, but the world also looks in on our style. They steal from our style. They appropriate from our style. They ask to borrow, they do all of the things. But I think that this culture, our culture, black culture, definitely is influences style. Hip hop especially, music, the entertainment industry, they all have quite a stronghold in style. So this theme, that is an actual niche of the group, where these men, black men fine tailored, would wear suits and hats and canes and capes, and it was all about the extreme tailored, and every detail down to a point where black men would just be styling. They took that inspiration from how black men have looked over the years, and they made this exhibit. I wish that we could be in New York, because I'm sure that I've heard so many people, not just black people, I've heard so many people in the fashion industry talk about how fabulous that exhibit was. Okay, and if you were able to visit the exhibit, then you were able to see exactly what they meant when they say fine and dandy, or dandyism, and the, like I said, the extremeness of tailoring. When my mom sewed, my mom tried to teach me how to sew for many times, and I was just like, Mom, I've told you guys, too easy to buy a shirt. Fuck, I'm doing all this for. I know there's been like a big discussion. People are talking about like whether could gowns be included in that, and gowns can be included in tailored, in tailored situations when you talk about dandyism. But in my mind, tailorism always involves a lot of stitches, seen and unseen, but a lot of stitches, a lot of drama that brings a lot of material, a lot of cuts. It just usually is just very dramatic and overly done, or just very, very well tailored. So like every single part of the garment, you can see where these stitches are taking place. So to me, when you see women like that are in like flowy gowns and all, while that does take a lot of tailoring, it takes a lot of stitching, a lot of, it does take a lot of work as well, but it's not the same as when you have like a stiffer type of material, or a material that you have to work with where you have to have pleats and darts, and you've got to hold the material a certain way, you've got to keep the stitching a certain way and all that. Flowier garments are a little bit more forgiving. Tailoring is tailored, so when I looked at the Met Gala and looking at everybody that was there, that's what my eye is drawn to. People that are wearing things that you can tell it took a lot to put that garment together. Okay, not one that it probably took a lot to put that garment together, but it's been made to look like it's just so easy breezy flowy. When you look at a tailored garment, it needs to look like that's what it is, dandyism, like over the top, right? So yes, that was so I'm telling you guys this because I want you guys to know what is, when I'm telling you guys who were my favorite looks, and when I tell you there are millions. Oh my God, it was a plethora. This is the best Met Gala. If you are black, I don't know how you did not enjoy this Met Gala. Definitely for us. This is one that you needed to watch. Hell, Diana Ross even came. Okay, and she hasn't been to the Met Gala, what she said, over 20 years, like 22 years or something. But she even came. But anyway, there were so many looks. It's so many to name. I did actually list a lot of the people that I was looking at. I don't have the names of the designers of what they were wearing. But just to give you a little, just in case you guys wanted to follow along, I actually was on Fashion Bomb Daily's Instagram, and I was scrolling, and as I was scrolling, I was looking at their people that they had posted and kind of going from that list. So if you wanted to see what a lot of these people were wearing, the designers, then you can do that. Okay, so that's the cheat code to this. But I'm gonna just list some people for you guys and tell you. But like I said, so many people. And shout out to Anna Wintour, who I believe did this as an homage to her friend Andre Leon Talley. Everybody knows that he and Anna Wintour had a friendship over the years. First of all, he's like the godfather of fashion. Like we all know who Andre Leon Talley is, with his very big, first of all, he's looks like he probably is like 6'5" or something, with his capes and all of these very bold colors and ornate jewelry or jewels on the capes and all that. Dad is calling me. I'll call you back, Dad. So it was a dedication for him, or an homage to him. I know we are all very saddened to know that he wasn't here to see that, But just to know that his name was in so many people's mouths that night, so many people's hearts and minds. You know, we all thought of Andre with this theme. Okay, so good for that. And I think I kind of remember reading that maybe they weren't even speaking at the time when he died, you know, so maybe this was something that, well, she said that this was something that they had thought of some years back. I guess they, you know, when they are figuring out what they are going to have, the themes as the years come, they had already said that they were going to do this. However, he had passed, and so I don't know if this was before or after that or whatever, but anyway, we got it. And especially where the world is today, the climate, especially here in these United States, it was just like sort of like, it's so funny because it just really truly feels like it's been a good year for at least Black people. This felt like a win, baby. This felt like a win. Shout out also to the people that hosted it: Pharrell Williams, Coleman Domingo, Lewis Hamilton, A$AP Rocky, Anna Wintour, of course, LeBron James, who was an honorary chair, or honorary person on the board, but he didn't even get to come, I think, because he's been injured. LeBron needs to retire. Okay, but that is a different segment for a different video. All right, but it's time to retire. Even though I know there's been the talk, they're saying like as long as he can still put the numbers up there and everything, but LeBron looks like he is really in pain. He looks miserable, you know, and it's just sort of like, after a while, what are we still playing for? Just like I was watching the interview, just to stack stats, because, you know, you probably ain't gonna win no championships, you know, and you beating your body up. Yeah. Anyway, child, like I said, another video, another time. Shout out to everybody else who were involved to this whole theme and brought it together. It was beautiful. I heard the exhibit at the museum was fantastic. I would really, really tell people that are in New York who have the ability to get to that museum, try to get there to that exhibit. I think that it probably goes on for some time. They said that this Met Gala raised the most money. I think they said somewhere around $300 million or something like that, you know, so definitely good for them, definitely good for the museum so that they can continue to do these things. But just a look, but you guys, I don't care. Anybody who said that this was not a great Met Gala is hating, flat out. Because, baby, them people was serving, they was giving. And it wasn't just Black people, although, honey, we did show up. We did show up and show out. But it wasn't just Black people, it was so many people, it was beautiful. Okay, let's hurry up and get down this list, because I done already talked for 15 minutes, child. Anyway, all right, so let me tell you, starting with Deborah Roberts. Now, at first, I was looking at Deborah Roberts, and I was like, not with this whole all that jazz look. But then I was like, oh, no, black and white tuxedo. Even though if she would have just did a little bit more, okay, added to the dandyism of it all, you know, the white and the black. If she maybe put on some jewelry, a hat, a cane, okay, a cape, something like that. But she didn't look bad. Okay, Zuri Hall. We're going to talk about. Zuri Hall looks great. I loved her outfit. It was very similar to Rihanna, but different enough that I wasn't bothered by it. But you know that there was a terrible mistake. Not a mistake, but there was something. So, some conversations need to be had that happened with one of the people in particular, one of our favorite people. We're going to talk about it in a minute. But Zuri Hall, like I said, similar to what Rihanna had on, but I loved it with the whole suit right here, kind of off no sleeves and all that. Cute. Teyana Taylor loved it. That's what I mean when I say like drama of it all. Too much material, all of the tailoring. Can you imagine how long it took to stitch all that shit? Okay, that's what I'm talking about right there. Coleman Domingo, I loved him in his cape. Okay, that was his homage to Andre Leon Talley. I loved him, his black and white suit. He looked great. He looked great. And I used to think that he wasn't really a good-looking guy, but actually Coleman Domingo's a good-looking guy. And I just love him because he's so dramatic, you know, when he talks. And it's not like that. That's not his voice. His voice is more like, Oh, it's just fabulous. Everything is real fabulous. You know, me and my husband, we met. We were both at the, we were sitting around the table, and I looked at him and he looked at me. And then you know, that's kind of how Coleman is. I like him. He's a cool guy. He looks like he's the life of the party. Pharrell and his wife, understated. Again, I thought that his wife would have probably done more, but then also his wife is very conservative, so not necessarily surprising. Okay, she had on a jacket over this corseted top, right? The corseted, well, you know, the corseted like a leotard kind of thing. Who else? Mona Patel. Loved it. Loved it. I loved anyone that was pretty much in a suit. Just giving you that. But I wanted the suit still to be just tailored to the guys. I mean, where that shit was like, it was like, looked like it was melted onto your body. Made extremely exactly for you. Jenny and Chanel, she had on that pantsuit. I mean, the pant jumpsuit, and then it had the overlay of the big skirt with the pearls right here. I just wish she had more pearls. I was just like, I just wish they overdid it with the pearls, but they were giving her the more clean look, you know, because she was in Chanel. I do remember she was in Chanel. Savannah James, I loved the look. I loved it. ASAP Rocky, who's always cute, who always looks good. You got, oh, side note, did you guys notice that the YNs, all of the YNs are cutting their hair, child? Even Future. He was out there on that carpet. Not that he's on this list. I'm just bringing him up for this. Y'all see he cut his hair? Look a fucking mess. But I'm glad, you know, we getting there. You know, maybe we can just cut it down some more. But I noticed that Lil Yachty and other YNs I've been noticing is cutting their hair. So ASAP Rocky might be on the road to cutting his hair. Kind of like when all of the niggas got rid of the grills and shit and got their teeth done. All the rappers. And they was all showing up with this bright ass, white ass, you know, teeth, you know, big, bright smiles. We kind of having that happen with the hair right now. And I'm real pleased about it because you guys already know how I feel about them damn braids. I don't like them on the men. Not them little twists and shit. Okay? Yeah, so maybe. Now, if ASAP Rocky cuts his hair, even though he wears cornrows for the most, he don't do the little twigs anymore. But if he cut his hair, oh my God. Because he is already beautiful. He's a beautiful man. When you look at him, he's pretty. He's pretty. You look at him and you just say, oh my gosh, such a cute man. If he cut that hair, ooh, and he's tall too, Good. Zendaya. This is the person that I wanted to talk to you guys about later. So did you guys see that Zendaya came fresh to death in that white suit? I mean, oh my gosh. She was definitely one of my top of the list. From the tilt of the hat to the whole tailored that suit. Tailored. That's what I mean when I say tailored. Okay? Like it's cream on her. Okay? Later on, Anna Sawai, S-A-W-A-I, had on pretty much the exact same look from the hat to the outfit. The only difference was, I mean, there was a difference. I think it was a different designer, different stylist, obviously, but same inspiration, and not tailored. Her outfit was tailored, but nothing like how Zendaya's was. So if you was gonna put them next to each other, you would look at Zendaya's, your eye was gonna go to the one that was like crisp right at her body, right? But La Roche, like, to me, I was just like, oh my God. You know, they showed when he saw the girl come on that red carpet, you know, and she pretty much had the same thing over, and he was just like, oh my goodness, like, oh, good thing we got here first. Baby, truer words were never spoken. It is really good that they got there first, because that would have ruined Zendaya's look, even though they probably would have had something else that they could have like put her in, and it would have just been something else that they would have had to do. But it was just sort of like, it would have been a disaster, really, if that girl got there first and Zendaya would have had to change her look. Maybe that happens, but I've never heard of that happening. Okay? But maybe it does. But on a Zendaya level, like when you are Zendaya, who is the belle of the ball usually all the time at these Met Galas, at least the last decade, you know, I felt like her look was real safe. It felt like La Roche really didn't, like, because she is the ambassador for Louis Vuitton. I really thought that she would have had on something that was more, I just expected more, not white, okay? Even if she would have been in the Louis Vuitton color of the monogram, you know how they have that same mustardy, orangey, yellowy, burnty kind of color that they have. Like, even if it would have been this, I don't know. I wanted it to be something else, though. I didn't want it to be something else. It was perfect the way that it was, but it felt very safe. And so it felt like it needed to be a little bit more to it. And that kind of confirmed it when this other girl came and somebody else was so easily able to pull that inspiration and come up with that same look. Like, that is something that is probably a lot of stylists thought of and was just like, oh, somebody else is going to have that look. Let's do something else, you know? And so that's why I was just like, oh, I don't know, Law Roach, like, that is a faux pas. Like, I don't know. I thought maybe I thought that these stylists kind of all be talking. Not necessarily saying anything about what their person is wearing, obviously, but maybe like they kind of like have some feelers out to get an idea of what everybody else is doing. So like, you know, that's what I kind of thought. I mean, I think that was just a big deal that it was Zendaya and like, so this big person and then this unknown person. Like, I don't really know who this Anna girl is. She's probably not unknown. She's well enough to be known. Okay, to be there. Okay, but you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, yeah, that is not good. That is not good. Okay, and La Roach gonna have to tighten up on that. Mindy Kaling, loved her look. Looked like it just had a whole bunch of earrings on there. It was so nice. She almost looked like a samurai. I loved it though. Loved it. Doechii, yes. Why couldn't that suit that material that Doechii had on be made in the suit that Zendaya had on with the epi print, the monogrammed, that cream color, you know, all that. I loved it on Doechii though. She looked cute. I loved the whole afro, the cigars. We're gonna see what happens with all these people that had cigars and cigarettes, even though they weren't lit. I think you can't have them lit. They say that you know, folks were banned from the Met Gala because Anna Wintour had told them some years ago that they couldn't do it, and they did it anyway, and they still can't come. So that's still the rule, but there were a few people out there that had smoking things, but they weren't really lit, I don't think. Jodie Turner-Smith, burgundy, killed it. Oh my God, with the hat. Oh, she is so fly. Tracee Ellis Ross, I loved it. Tracee breathes fashion. Okay, so loved it. Ayo Edebri, how do you say her last name? Loved her outfit. It was so different. I don't even know what to tell you, what to call it. But all I know is that black leather trench coat that she said was her father's. They probably did a little tuck it and little thing, whatever, but it had the arm things that went down and draped. Oh my God. I was like, girl, if you don't give me that fucking coat. Oh my God, that coat was so fucking fly. And she said it was her father's. Child, I'm telling you, I know my dad got some damn jewels in that closet over there, because my dad used to be a little touch fly back in the day too. You know, didn't overdo it, but I bet he got some jewels in there. Lupita Nyong'o, loved her look in that mint green. So pretty and flowy, you know, but still the suit. Even though she had that flowy cape with the sheerness of that cape, that suit was giving it to me. Could have been tailored a little bit more, but it's okay. Demi Moore, the tie. She had the dandy tie, you guys. She wore the dandy tie. That's the type of creativity that I love. What she had on, what Tracee Ellis Ross had on, Janelle Monáe, what she had on that red, black, and white. Was it Tom Brown? No, I think it was I don't know who it was. I think it was none other designer. It could have been Tom Brown. But when they first she came out there, you know, Janelle Monáe with all of her drama. This is like perfect for her. When she came out there, she had the little clock eye patch and, you know, all that. And when they took the cover off, which was the cape, and then she had that suit on and the skirt and the details. What was so cute about her outfit was that it was all painted or stitched or whatever onto that material. It wasn't stitched like this. It looked like it was painted on, or like that's how the material was made. It's hard for me to explain, but oh my God, tailored. tailored. Okay, who else? Usher and his wife. Usher just had on a tuxedo, but his wife, Usher really could have had on what his wife had on. She was so, that fucking top and pants and that sash over with the big flowers here with the cone titties, you know, overdone long sleeves, kind of like a puffy number of puff right here at the shoulders, coming down into that. Oh my God, I was like, girl, you outshining a whole bunch of people and you ain't even no damn celebrity. She was fucking beautiful. That outfit, oh my God, I loved it. Angela Bassett, loved her and her looking like crushed velvet. Lizzo, I liked her. I was watching entertainment, the E channel, so you know they have Yvonne Orji. I guess Yvonne Orji, her new thing is like hosting, because she's been on a couple of the fashion panels now, but Yvonne Orji was on there. And Christian Siriano, who's always on there, he is actually the one who dressed Lizzo. But I loved it on Lizzo. Like, Lizzo is so, we're gonna have a conversation about this one time, not right now because we don't got the time, but now that Lizzo has lost weight, like, I feel like a lot of times when people have like things that they have insecurities about, or that they know that people notice about them, that they make themselves bigger, or they either will make themselves bigger where everybody notices them all the time, or they'll make themselves very small and they try to disappear so that nobody notices them. She is one of those ones that likes to make themselves like very grand, so she's always very like loud and going and doing and good. And it's just sort of like, I realize that that's just sort of like something that she did that probably helped her personality. When people would say, oh, she's cute for a big girl or something like that, you know, maybe that was her way of protecting herself, or saying, yes, I don't care, I'm big and bold and I'm beautiful and I believe in myself, and you don't really have to do that, you know. Now that she's lost this weight, maybe that also will tone down some, because Lizzo is just always just so excited. Her clothes was falling off. I was like, girl, we can't even see this outfit. You're trying to walk, you're trying to hold your outfit on, you're trying to talk to the people, you're doing all this, you're doing all that. We can't get the picture. Girl, I love her. I love Lizzo, but I think that, you know, she, you know, it's just like goodness. Every time she comes through, it's like a tornado, child. Who else? Kerry Washington. I really did love Kerry Washington. Looked like, you know, that she was sitting under a sarsaparilla tree, you know, drinking a mint julep in the South somewhere. Okay, just as cute as can be. But definitely, I love that little style that she had on as well. Taraji P. Henson. Loved it. That girl is looking good. Okay, they tried to blackball her. They trying to do something to Taraji. I'm not sure exactly what, but she still looked good. Cardi B loved that crushed velvet. I don't think it was really crushed velvet look. It might have been just brocade, like not brocade, but that stitching. Is it called brocade? What is it called? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Where the stitching was lifted off of the material. I loved her look, from the hair all the way down. The green outfit, that green outfit, baby, yes. Absolutely, yes. Angel Reese, that was another one. Tom Brady. Her dress, she had on a dress. So that's what I'm saying. When you see the people that had on dresses, but there still was quite tailored. So you talk about Angel Reese, you talk about Savannah James, you talk about Tessa Thompson, who also I loved, who had a dress on, but it was very tailored. Janelle Monáe, like I said, when you talk about dresses, even if the dress has a lot of stitches, you still sticking to the theme. Okay, you can be beautiful. You can be beautiful, like the runner. What's her name? Shikari, whatever her name is. She looked beautiful, but she should have been at last year's Met Gala. The one that's running through the garden, or whatever it was, enchanted garden forest running through. Everybody's windswept, wet, you know, no clothes on, wet, running, all that. Like, she looked like she should have been there last year, not this year. Priyanka Chopra, one of the Jonas Brothers, the wife. Loved her black and white polka dot suit, that long skirt. Yes, absolutely. Her Kendall, not Kendall. Yes, Kendall Jenner. Yeah, Kendall Jenner in her suit with the long skirt. Oh my God, loved it. I even loved Issa Rae's, even though it could have been tailored a little bit more, but I liked her suit that she had on. And then Brian Tyree Henry, you guys saw he had on that big old cape. It kind of looked like it was, not paisley, but, just looked like a fucking curtain or some shit that you got back in 2008. Back in Bed, Bath and Beyond, that burgundy shit had gold and all the tassels and shit. Y'all know what was big during that time, right? Okay, well, just imagine it as a cape. I liked his look. Tyler Perry even paid homage, had on a cape. Tyler said this was his first Met Gala and that he did it especially for Andre. What y'all thought about Shabuzi? It was a couple that I was just sort of like, I'm not sure. I think Shabuzi, he's just so fucking tall. That nigga is big. He is huge. But if they could have took all of them turquoise beads and made them pearls and put them on that girl that I was telling you about they had on the Chanel, if they could have, that's the kind of draping, even though I wanted his to be draped on top of each other, not like spaced perfectly in between each other, like pearls. I wanted them to be bunched up in all the whole bunch. That's the kind of look I wanted. But boy, he is tall. That Negro is tall. Okay. But I'm sure there were way more. I'm sure there were way more. Oh, Kim Kardashian, that's another one. I really did like her look. When you talk about the Met Gala, you have to talk about taking liberties. You have to talk about the theme and what you interpreted this theme to be. Even though Kim kind of was giving us more of the blaxploitation era, so she was kind of later on in the eras of fashion of black people. I'm still gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. Okay. Of course, she's gonna put her very sexy spin on it. Some people were offended by the whole booty and all that shit out. I wasn't. I thought she looked fabulous. Okay. I thought that hat was cute. I loved it. Nicki Minaj, I did really love Nicki Minaj's look too, but then it's just sort of like, if you cannot walk in the look that you're wearing and everybody has to be crowded around you to help you hobble up the stairs, then that takes away from the look for me. I want to see you walking. I want to see you giving us the drama going up the stairs. I don't want to see 4 people holding on to your elbows and shoulders and shit, getting you up them stairs, and because you don't look comfortable, because you're trying to make sure you don't fall. Even when you pose, you kind of like a little off. So to me, there still is a fine line in between comfort and fashionability, and you shouldn't really compromise one for the other at a certain point. Okay, I know you got to pay the price, but I'm gonna need you to be able to walk. I want you to be able to walk. But anyway, that's it for me, y'all. I done talked about it long enough. Like I said, I knew it was gonna take up that whole whole thing. Did I tell you guys Coco Jones in her pearl suit? It was completely beaded. That shit looked like it probably weighed about 20 pounds. All them balls. But she was so pretty. And also shout out to Coco Jones. Y'all listen to her new album. It's nice. Very talented girl. I hope, good things for her once the show ends. She's able to continue on with everything. But, yeah, y'all, that's it. I think that's it for me. I gave y'all my good. I don't really have no bads. I think everybody really looked nice. So anyway, y'all let me know what you thought about it. You're good, you're bad, you're ugly, all that. Put it in the comments below, and I'm gonna get on off of here. We do this every single week. Make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.